we're about to make history. Never before in the history of home services has this approach been tackled. At this size, at this scale, for a blue-collar company in the history of the United States, where we recognize that men and women that do the work are owners and treated like owners. Every one of our employees will be owners.
Quick reminder, last time we ended at 500 million, just barely over 3,000 employees, and we stopped at Dry Pro.
What?
So we need to, and we would start back in 2021, taking it back to now what the new goal is.
Let's do it.
Awesome, let's get to it.
Well, in the first 5 years, we were able to achieve 500 million of revenue, over 3,000 employees, 14 brands. And the question was always, could we continue that?
So we're feeling pretty good about ourselves. We were at $500 million, which was momentous. But Matt, in Matt fashion, challenged us. What's keeping us from $1 billion?
And I remember like it was yesterday where me and the rest of the senior leadership team were sitting around a restaurant just discussing, the magnitude of what we just hit. Matt comes out and says that the next target is $1 billion. And I remember just everybody looking around the table and like actually believing for the first time that was possible.
Everybody else already thought we had done the impossible, getting to $500 million. We knew we're going to crush this thing. We can absolutely do it. But we had to put the resources in place.
We knew that the infrastructure we had at $500 million wouldn't get us to the next milestone, so we created the division structure.
So Matt put myself and Jeffrey and Flynn in as divisional leaders over the East, the South, and the West, and then we continued to make sure that we had a steady flow of leadership to make this thing a reality at speed.
The second thing we had to put in place was training. What makes us unique at Groundworks is we actually believe leadership is a skill. And we invest in this. And so we took an unconventional approach to leadership, which included taking people out of their environment, moving them to musters and FTXs, and partnering with some of the greatest leaders in our country. And we put them in dynamic environments to challenge them, to expedite their growth and understanding of the leadership principles that we espouse here at Groundworks. Part of investing in leaders and leadership development is this belief that if you care about the men and women that make up your company and you invest in them to be better people, to be better leaders, that the fabric of that will weave itself into our business in such a way that we'll win. And that's what we did. In any great company, one thing you can never do is underinvest in tools and technology.
So in order to hit $1 billion, we had to rethink how do we supply this company. That means buildings, that means people, but that also means automation, that means robotics, that means doing things with machines that we've never done before. And you can't wait to get to $1 billion. You've got to start supporting it long before you get there.
The thing was, we never thought of the challenges that we experienced to get the tools and resources we needed to win. There was this thing called inflation.
The annual rate of inflation is down to 4.9%. It is the first time below 5% since 2021.
So in 21, the post-COVID world, you had all these crazy variables. You had massive inflation, again, many CEOs hadn't dealt with, and consumers hadn't dealt with in over 40 years. You had disruptions in supply chain, getting products, getting steel, getting vehicles was very difficult. Prices were also increasing due to that.
Half of the materials that we use are steel. The steel that we use is about $500 a ton. By October of 21, 1 year later, where we were at $500, we're at $2,000 a ton. So what did we do? How did we combat? We used our size.
In 2021, during the pandemic, supply chain issues, we all learned about how supply chains were going wrong. You heard all these big names that didn't have parts and didn't have pieces and their supply chain was falling apart. Our supply chain had what we needed and it was actually growing. And it's because of those relationships and how we do business with our partners.
Steve, our CFO, comes in, hey, we're gonna buy 250 trucks. And I dropped my pen. I said, we're doing what? And we're buying 250 trucks. And I said, okay. He says, because we wanna make sure that we have them. It was one of these benefits that I saw from the size of our business, being able to affect true change on our customer so we wouldn't have them disrupted. And for our team, so we wouldn't have to lay off anybody or pause what we were doing due to supply chains or any external factor. But in Groundworks fashion, we were able to navigate through. Despite all these challenges, we knew we had a mission to complete. We made an incredible run that I didn't think was even possible in 21. We just took the entire state of Pennsylvania.
We made this big Pennsylvania push. So we went up and we partnered with Baker's Waterproofing out of Pittsburgh, 46-year-old, great brand.
So then we moved to central Pennsylvania and we met a founder named Jake Waltz. He had a company named I'm the Guy. And after we partnered with them, we actually rebranded them Baker and put the two teams together so they could cover more customers. And we thought we were done, but we weren't. Down in Philadelphia, we had an opportunity to meet Brian Quinn and the BQ and Basement and Concretes team. And that was a wonderful chance for us to complete out our journey across Pennsylvania and cover the entire state with that partnership.
So as we ended 2021, we were presented with a unique opportunity to partner with our friend Matt Shanley and the tremendous brand in Florida, Alpha Foundations. Now, Alpha Foundation, his business, is one of the leading businesses in our entire sector. They had 5 other offices in the state. The state was booming. And so we entered the state of Florida in a very meaningful way. And that partnership with Alpha was definitely a milestone in our company's history. "2022 was a historic year for us. We started that year doing something that no other company in our industry had ever dared to do. We went to Omaha.
For years, what you would hear is, don't go to Omaha. No one can go into Omaha. That is an entrenched organization there. You can't risk storming Omaha.
Everyone knew that this one company in Omaha was the standard, candidly. And people were afraid to go into that market to challenge that. So of course, in Groundworks fashion, in early 2022, we decided to do it. So we selected a partner, a great company, a small family business run by Dave and Ginger called CLS. And it was that business that we rebranded Groundworks to launch into Omaha.
Being able to merger with Groundworks and become the first Groundworks is quite exciting to know that we're going to be able to brand and make history on a level that nobody expected.
So this was the first time we used Groundworks as a customer-facing brand. Historically, we would use the great brands that we bought and partnered with. This opened a new chapter for us as a business, where we would use the Groundworks brand to serve customers across the country.
It was a completely different perspective in terms of how we were going to go to market in Nebraska, in Omaha, and bring the Groundworks brand to life. We put a great brand forward, great imagery, trucks, logos. We partnered with the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Creative, TV, the entire way through kind of elevated our entire approach. And even though we were coming as a national brand, we were still built from people from Nebraska.
The most interesting thing about the Omaha launch was the attention we were getting from employees from our competitors. So for years, they've been operating in this market in our same industry, but never had another option. There's a lot of home services companies that speaks about people are their greatest asset, but in Groundworks, we really do what we say we do.
And it's been so successful that everyone has taken notice. And now the local people that are there, the competition, their people are seeking us out and going, we want to be a part of what is happening. We've never seen anything like this. So we're extremely excited about it.
What our success in Omaha taught us was there is nowhere, no city, no market that we can't go and be successful. In the late spring of 2022, we partnered with a company in a market we were already in called Peak Structural. We had a great business in Denver. We thought, okay, we bring this great company into the fold with Complete, and could that two teams unify to grab even more market share in the Colorado market? The owners of that business, Paul and Lisa Sutton, were friends of ours. We've met with them for years. But when Paul called, he shared with us something that was pretty unusual.
In the spring of 2021, we got a knock on the door from our supply chain. They're interested in acquiring our company. As we negotiated and went back and forth on that, it became evident by the end of the summer that that was not a direction that made sense for our employees, for us as owners. Because we chose not to accept a proposal from our suppliers, we learned that our future territory and opportunity would be significantly limited because they intended to move another company into the Denver market and push us out.
During this time, we had seen a change in our industry. For the first 5 years, the distributors of the materials of waterproofing products and foundation service products, they frowned upon us that when we put great brands together and leverage our resources to grow, they thought that was bad. They viewed that as a mistake, a poor business strategy. But as we had more success, they started to emulate this strategy. So what started to happen is we started to field more inbound calls from companies from across the nation that felt this immense pressure from their materials distributor to somehow join them and sell pieces of their business to them because their material companies were demanding it. And it was this unique, perverse relationship that heretofore had never really been an issue until the success of Groundworks.
We were starting to get some pressure about selling our company or partnering with our distributor. And Pat and I, we weren't interested in doing that. We were happy with our company and growing. And then in late 2021, we were told that we were going to lose half of our territory, that the distributor was partnering with the other company in West Virginia that was in the south.
They were threatening to come down into our territory as well, so they were kind of putting squeeze play on us.
That's when Pat and I started to look into Groundworks. We went over for a meeting with Groundworks and we loved their vision. We were excited when we left that meeting because we knew that we would be placing our company in great hands.
So in the summer of 2022, we decided to continue our expansion, this time to the great state of West Virginia. Ricky and Pat own a great business there, and we decided now was the right time to partner with Basement Authority of West Virginia.
Our reality, it had changed. The industry, it was different. And if I think about what I was most proud was that we did not let that affect us at Groundworks. We decided we'd stay with the same strategy and we would do partnerships the right way.
So in the late summer of 2022, we found foundation support specialists in San Antonio, Texas, and entered the Texas market.
So Texas was a huge market opportunity for us. And anytime you're launching in a huge marketplace, it presents a different level of difficulty. Most of the competitor base uses antiquated services that you haven't seen in the Midwest since the 1980s. So it became a new challenge in the fact that you had to go through and educate the customer on our superior service offerings and go through and really shift the mindset in a marketplace.
With our partnership with Groundworks, we were able to blow past those issues. Now we are opened in Houston. We have an office in Dallas now. We are the brand of Texas, and it's exciting to see what Groundworks has been able to accomplish.
So during this time, we were experiencing great growth, a lot of opportunity. There was a lot of excitement. But what most people don't know is that we actually faced some unexpected challenges.
As we are continuing to grow our distribution center in Columbia, South Carolina, we call Rosewood, we had a storm. Where the storm hit it took down the building beside us that adjoined us. We had an adjoining wall. And when it took that building down, it took down also that adjoining wall. And the water flowed through that building like a river. And in that moment, we realized this could be millions of dollars. We could have downtime. People would not have paychecks to support their family. Even though the building was partially torn, even though the water's flowing through the building, our Rosewood team continued to ship. They continued to produce. It also made us realize we need to duplicate what we do in Rosewood. We started looking for a second distribution center to support Rosewood, but to also support our growth west. We found that and located it in Olathe, Kansas, just outside of Kansas City.
And with this new location, Frontier, which is our second distribution center here at Groundworks, we're pretty much able to duplicate everything that we're able to do at Rosewood, therefore doubling our capacity for manufacturing and distribution. Frontier will support everything west of the Mississippi and all the explosive growth that we have going on there, and Rosewood will continue to support everything east of the Mississippi.
Ever since we started this business, there was this dream that we wanted to be a national business, to be coast to coast. Business was started really in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and the idea of somehow touching the Pacific Ocean was always an idea, a dream. But then in 2023, we had the opportunity to partner with Bay Area Underpinning, Steve and Kelly in Northern California, and become a coast-to-coast business.
It's interesting. When we hit that goal, it made you really reflect and realize it's not about the two teams that touch the ocean. It's about all the 4,300 people that get up every day in our company and they serve the customers. All the way, yes, from Virginia to California, but Florida to North Dakota, all up into the Northeast, and always down to the great state of Texas. It's about the fact that we're on a same mission, and that together, because of that milestone, we were able to call ourselves truly a national company.
And with this, we were able to achieve our next milestone of being a $1 billion company. So think about that. $1 billion company. From May of 2016, 0 to $1 billion in 7 years. The fastest $1 billion home services company ever built. Built by great men and women aligned on one mission with one goal, to do something different, to do something special.
It's kind of hard to wrap your arms around the fact that in 2.5 years, you go from $500 million to over $1 billion. 2,500 employees to 4,300 employees. From 12 brands to 21 brands. From 30 offices to 56 offices. In just a little over 2.5 years.
When I bought the company, we granted shares to 43 managers, men and women that were running our different locations. And as we expanded and we grew, we added offices, we increased that pool. With our partnership with Cortec in 2020, we increased that pool from 43 people to over 300. And I could see the value and the power of deep ownership. But when we crossed the $1 billion threshold, I felt something was missing. Because it wasn't only the managers that got us over that $1 billion. It was every single person at our company. And I felt that it was time to do something different. We found a financial partner that agreed with what could become of a company when you give ownership to everyone.
So I'm proud to announce that we've added KKR as a private equity partner for us at Groundworks. Cortec will continue. KKR is our new partner as we continue to grow and build out this company.
Now, in the world of finance, KKR is world-class, well-known. They manage over $500 billion. They've been around for over 50 years. They manage 128 portfolio companies that generate over $300 billion in annual revenue. But none of that mattered. What mattered To me, they had alignment in empowering every employee at Groundworks to become an owner. The power of ownership for every single employee was something that KKR felt strongly about. And that's why we picked them. In 2023, after selecting KKR as our new partner, I was able to walk out on that stage at kickoff in front of all our men and women, over 4,500 men and women, after 7 years, and finally being able to say to them, you are now owners.
We are going to change home services forever, where we recognize that men and women that do the work are owners and treated like owners and rewarded as the company grows and value every member of this great company will participate in that growth so that you can one day live out your dream and have your freedom. This has never been done at this size, at this scale, for a blue-collar company in the history of the United States. That means every one of our employees will be owners. Every one.
So I remember kickoff last year, Matt came in, he'd been holding us in, and then he told the group all at once, everybody in here is going to be an owner. And I remember looking around and there was just a momentary pause. They're looking at each other and trying to register. Did I just really hear that? And then the room just erupted. I mean, uproarious applause. I don't even know how long. It felt like forever that everybody's clapping and stomping feet and doing all the rest. It was pandemonium and everybody's like, they knew. They didn't even have all the details, but you could see they knew this is going to be a life-changing thing for me.
It was really emotional because then you really realize that there's a bigger purpose of what we're doing here. It's not just to sell foundation services. We're here to change lives, both that of our customers and of our people.
So I actually remember when I first met Matt Malone, he was just building out the Groundworks Management Ownership Program. And he said, mark my words, Jackie, one day all Groundworks employees will be owners. And I kind of chuckled at that a little bit, and you're thinking, okay, sure. Fast forward now, over 6 years later, I look back and I think about that moment now, and I just think, we did it. We actually did it.
Telling all the employees that they're owners is easy. It's a couple words. Actually defining what it meant and how it could change their lives, now that's the hard part. So in Groundworks fashion, we needed a road trip.
So Matt decided to travel to all of our offices, over 60 locations across the country. And the point was he could explain the program, he could answer their questions, but most important, look each and every one of our employees in the eyes, shake their hands, and congratulate them on becoming an owner.
Our objective at Groundworks is to change that paradigm so you know how to create wealth, to use this business to create wealth for you and your family. That's what this is about. Bettering the lives of the men and women that part of this company, they can make more money and frankly, better the lives of their families. This is what we do. This is how we do it. This is how we build something great. Because collectively, if we all get better, we all win.
This tour wasn't just about going around the country and motivating people and calling our employees owners. It was about treating them like owners. The Groundworks story is not about a journey of becoming a billion-dollar company. The Groundworks story is about the men and women who built that billion-dollar company and how they became owners.
Being an owner of the company is life-changing. It's gonna make a difference for me and my family and my kids.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that's going to impact us down the road and really alleviate a lot of stress and worries about our future.
A lot of companies really don't care about their employees, and to have him coming and talking to us and showing us how much he actually cares about us and giving us the breakdown on the future plans makes me feel very ecstatic about the future in this company.
I've already been able to call my wife after leaving here, and I'm like telling her, kind of excited what the options are and what it could look like in the future and how that can grow for us.
It's a dream come true. Having a chance to make this kind of money and build generational wealth, and that's what I'm here for.
It actually means a lot to me. I mean, I come from a family of poverty, and so when you live a life for generations where someone lives their full life and then their kids have to start over and then their kids have to start over, when you get an opportunity like this, it shows me that my son doesn't have to start over when he gets of age.
When you've experienced having nothing and living through having nothing, it is everything to me. Ultimately, this means that my family will have freedom.
Knowing that I'm an owner of a billion-dollar company makes me feel like everything I've ever done in life is worth it, because I've come to a point where I feel truly appreciated for the very first time.
But that's just the most amazing part about this company. Our owner, he really built this thing on giving back. To hear that today, and get to experience what we're fixing to go through, it's another life-changing event.
Could I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, that's fine.
I don't want to cry, but Malone, boss, if you're gonna see this record, I'm gonna tell you thank you.
Thank you.
And not only for me and my wife, for my family.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our journey over the last 7 years has been nothing short of incredible. The things we've done together as a business, the lives that we've changed, the industry that we've been able to evolve, the opportunities that we've been able to afford the great men and women of this company. Nothing short of incredible. But the best part is our story is not done yet.